Всем привет! First, just a quick reminder that this video is part of a bigger playlist. We are learning Russian cases and about Russian case system step by step. In our last video, we worked with the chart for nouns, so hopefully it made sense. And today we are working with the chart for adjectives and possessive pronouns and also other types of pronouns. Again, I will explain to you how I structured this chart, but I think a lot of the things will already be making sense much faster if you understood how to work with this chart. If you haven't seen this video, please do it. It's going to be helpful. Okay, let's start. Let me switch the screens and we're starting.
If you like it, please click like. If it's useful, drop a line. If you love it, hit subscribe. Like me, подпишись и комментарий напиши.
So here's our chart, and it's the chart for adjectives and pronouns my, your, and our, the possessive pronouns. So first, let me walk you through the organization of this chart, and then we're going to look at some examples. So again, the rows go with the cases, nominative, genitive, dative, accusative, instrumental, prepositional, and the columns go with the gender, masculine, neutral, feminine, singular, and plural. So here in this kind of like legend right here, I remind you kind of like my categorization of the adjective endings. So there are endings that are true hard. So remember, like hard stays hard, so it's true hard. And then there is hard that's affected by the 7-letter rule. There is hard that's affected by both 5 and 7-letter rule, even though they don't look hard sometimes with the ending E. They actually are hard. They're just affected by the spelling rules, and they have to switch to soft endings. And we have endings that are true soft. Most of the time, they end in n, e, ni. And the 5 and 7-letter rules are explained right here. So, and it's the same rule as we used for the nouns. I just arranged it differently here. So here we have question words that go with the adjectives. Remember, again, with the nouns, we had кто and что, who and what. And for adjectives, we use what kind or which, какой, какое, какая, какие. That goes with masculine, neutral, feminine, plural. And they will also change in different cases. So for nominative, we use the default ones. And for genitive, какой and какое changes to какого. Какая changes to какой, какие to каких. As you can see, you see them for every case and gender depending on where it falls. Okay, so the endings that we see here, are the adjective endings. And the endings that are here in the red box are the default endings. So when you look up how to say a word and the word is an adjective, it will end in these 3 endings, either I, oi, or e. So if you remember that for nouns, our default words fell into 3 genders. For adjectives, if you look up how to say interesting, boring, pretty, new, you actually will have the default form in nominative, and then we kind of come up with this ending depending on how we need to change it. Okay, so then here you can see this kind of pinkish box, and it says pronouns my, your, our. And whenever I have something about pronouns that's specific to pronouns, I will have that kind of pinkish box right here. So for adjectives, we use these question words, what kind, which, but for personal pronouns, we use these question words like чей, чье, чья, чьи, which means whose. Like whose pen is that? That's my pen. And whose car is that? That's our car. Things like that. So here you can see that the words start falling into different spots. So here we have наш, мой, наше, моё, наша, моя, наши, мои. Now, we definitely have more possessive pronouns than just my and our. But here we have this little thing, and actually here too, that says мой is the same as твой and свой, and наш is the same as ваш. So whatever ending you come up for мой, based on this chart, you can apply it to твой and свой in similar contexts, and whatever ending you come up with наш, or every variation of it, it also will go with ваш, ваше, and so on. So here, for example, if you come up with моего, that also will be твоего and своего. if you need to use these words. Now, remember that we also have его, ее, их, his, her, their, but they're not part of this chart because they never change. We love, love, love them. They stay the same in all cases and all genders. So let's say его, his will be его, 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 его. Like everywhere, it doesn't change, which we like. Speaking about notes, here's the second note. If you don't know what свой means, it basically is my, your, his, her, their, our, depending on the context and their, and it kind of like means your own. So here I have a couple of examples, but it's definitely a bigger topic, and it's hard to fit into a note, but I think it already will give you some ideas about what свой is and when to use it or when not to use it. Okay, then finally here at the bottom, we have some other pronouns. This, этот, это, these, эти, that, тот, то, та, those, те, and then something that means whole or all, or like sometimes everything, весь, всё, вся, and все. And here I just give you forms for these pronouns in different cases, sometimes because they have some kind of like variations. For instance, you can see that этот, это have the hard endings, and all of a sudden here we have soft, and here all of a sudden we have soft here. And a similar things happens here and so on. So this one's just like, again, when we start translating, I will point it out. Okay, let's take a look at some examples. Okay, our first word is gonna be the word новый, новый. And the ending ый is our default ending, and you can see that ый, when it's not affected by any of the 5-7 letter rules, is true hard. Remember, hard stays hard. So новый falls right here. So, and then we can decide which way we want to go. So let's go first in all the cases for masculine. So hard stays hard, so it will be новый, нового. Here we have something that can affect a letter that's part of the 5 letters rules. V is not part of these letters. So we just stay here. Нового, новому. Here we have to decide if it's nominative or genitive. And remember, nominative is a something and genitive is a somebody. If you're not sure what I'm talking about here, watch my previous video when I work with this chart. I explain a lot about how to figure out if something is a what or a who, but I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Anyways, now so the word новый by itself is neither a who or a what. But if I add the word student to it, it would mean новый goes with this noun. And this noun is definitely a who. Yeah, student is an animate person. So новый will go with that form. This will be like genitive, and this will be like genitive in accusative. And if I say новый дом, a new house, house cannot look you in the eye, so it's not a person, it's a thing. So новый дом will stay like nominative in the accusative case. So here we really have to decide which word it goes with. If it's студент, it will be нового. If it's дом, then it will stay новый дом. Okay, then we go to instrumental, новым, 7-letter rule. Again, V is not part of the 7 letters, so it stays hard. And по новом, о каком, о новом. Okay, then masculine also, we use the same base, yeah, so we like take off ui, and we add other endings to turn it into neutral, feminine, or plural. So for instance, here we are saying новый дом, новый дом. But we can also say новая машина. So that word is feminine and will trigger the feminine ending here. So let's see what happens and how we come up with these endings. So новый, to say something is neutral, it will be новое, hard stays hard, новая, новые. And for each of them, we'll change the endings. So again, if we say новое, for instance, новое окно, a new window, then if we have to change new window in other cases, we go with the same endings here. Новое, нового, новому. So here, neutral is the same as nominative because neutral nouns are not animate. Новым, о новом. If we're saying новая машина, a new car, we're using this set of endings. Новая, новой, both for genitive and dative, and actually instrumental and prepositional. Новой, новой, and then accusative gets ую, новую. For plural, новые, новых, новым. Again, this we have to decide, are we talking about new students or new kittens? Then it will be the same as genitive. Are we talking about new houses or new windows? Then it will be the same as nominative. Новыми, новых. So hard stays hard. This was a true hard. We never had to switch anywhere because v is not part of either 5 or 7 letter rule. Okay, our next word is the word худой. Is the word худой, which means skinny, and it also is true hard. It just has the ending ой. And as you can see, it's stressed, худой. So since it's true hard, again, it stays hard everywhere. The is not part of 5 or 7 letter rule, so худой, худого, худому. Then for accusative, we have to decide if it's nominative or genitive. Usually when we talk about a skinny, we're talking about a person. So it will be connected like a skinny boy or a skinny man, a skinny cat, and it will be the same as genitive. For instrumental, худым, prepositional, or худом. Neutral, худое, and again, all of these endings. For feminine, худая, худой, худую, худой. Plural, худые, худых, худым. We have to decide худыми, худых. Okay, so with the true hard, it's pretty simple. Now let's take a look at the word русский. Русский, and you can see I put k in red because it's part of the 7-letter rule. So something is happening. So this is really hard. So this is really this ending, but we couldn't have this ending because of the 7-letter rule. So the default form of the word is e. But it's not this E, it's this modify E where it kind of like went here. I guess I should have added like 7 and goes here. So this is this русский that's really is this, but we cannot have it. So its true nature will go through. So we're staying with the hard. Русского, русскому. Again, if we're saying it's a Russian city, русский город, it will be the same as nominative. And if we say it's a Russian student, that will be the same as genitive because it's a person. Now look what happens here. Here, hard stays hard, so we should be here because it is hard. But it is affected by the 7-letter rule because k is part of the 7-letter rule. So here we have to switch to the soft ending, русским. And then prepositional, it's not affected by the 7-letter rule. Hard goes back to hard. О русском. Same with русская, same set of endings. Feminine, русская, again. So here we see that it's kind of like went here, but here it's hard, hard. So русская, русской, русскою, русской. Hard stays hard. Here, to build plural, we should add ые, because it's a hard set of endings, but it is affected by the 7-letter rule, so here we have to switch. Русские. Same happens here. Cannot add this one. We have to switch. Русских. Same here. Русским. Here we have to decide what word does Russian describe. Here we have to switch. Русскими. And here we have to switch. А каких? А русских. Our next example is the word плохой. So here, again, we can see it does have this h. That's part of the 7-letter rule. So here, from the start, it's in the hard paradigm, so we know it's hard, but look what happens. Плохого, плохому. Here, we should add I skipped this one because you already get it, like it has to depend on a noun that it describes. So here we should have but we can't, so here we have to switch to i, плохим. Here, nothing is affecting it other than 5-letter rule, and h is only part of the 7-letter rule, so it stays hard. Плохом. And then we go here. Плохое, плохая, плохой, плохую, плохой. So, and plural is again going to be affected. Плохие, because it's part of the 7-letter rule. Плохих, плохим, плохими, плохих. The next word is the word большой. The word большой. And this O is stressed. This O is stressed. What it means is that большой is only affected by the 7-letter rule. Even though sh is part of both 5 and 7, so 5-letter rule cannot have the unstressed O. But since большой is stressed, it still stays hard and is only affected by the 7-letter rule. So it will be very similar to the word русский in terms of what endings it gets. So большой, большого, большому, большим have to switch большом. So even though we have 5-letter rule affecting it, большой doesn't switch because O is stressed. We go here большое in all of these endings, большая, большой, большую, большой. Plural, we have to switch, just like we did with русский. Большие, больших, большим, большими, больших. Our next word is the word хороший. So here, the ending is not stressed. It's хороший, this O that's stressed. So хороший and words like хороший are affected both by 5 and 7-letter rule. To be honest, the sh that's not affected by the 5-letter rule is really just the word большой. There is a couple other words in the Russian language, but as beginners, you won't even encounter them. So just remember, большой goes here, and everything else that has sh or sh follow this kind of like almost everything soft paradigm. Okay, so хороший is our E ending, but remember, хороший is actually hard. It's just affected by the 5 and 7-letter rule. So this is really Y that couldn't be there. So it's хороший. So hard stays hard. We have to go to the hard ending right here. Хорошего. Now, this O is not stressed. And because it's хорошего. So here, 5-letter will affect it and will be хорошего. So once again, большой was not affected because O was stressed. Большого, just the word by itself has the stress on ой, большой, in the default form. So here, it stays here. And since it's stressed, we can have it. Хороший. This O is stressed. Ending is not stressed, and it's not going to be stressed anywhere else. So 5-letter rule will apply. So here we have to switch right here. хорошего, хорошему, хорошим. That's we have the effect. Here we have the effect of the 7-letter rule. хорошим. Again, we switched. So as you can see, everywhere we actually went with the soft ending. And it will be the same here. So хороший will end here because it should be ое, because it's really hard, but it can be хорошее. Now you can say, like, it's all soft. Can't we just consider it soft? Well, look what happens here. This is not affected by the 5 or 7-letter rule, and that's where it goes back to being hard. Хорошая. Here, here it's affected again. Хороший. Хороший. But accusative is not affected again. No 5, no 7. Хорошую. And then all of the endings here will be affected by the 7-letter rule. So it will be хорошие, хороших, хорошим, хорошими, хороших. Finally, we have the true soft. Finally, that's the true soft, синий. Синий is the true soft. That meaning once we remove this ending, we stay in the soft paradigm without switching. Синий, синего, синему, синим, синим. Синие, all these endings again. Синяя, синий, синюю, синий. Синие, синих, синим, синими, синих. There you go. So soft stays soft, hard stays hard, unless it's affected by the rules. Now let's take a look at our pronouns. So the two pronouns that we have, our basic pronouns is мой and наш. Мой and наш. And наш is, again, it's kind of like a hard ending, but it is affected by both 5 and 7-letter rule. So it's very similar to хороший. So наш and хороший are very similar because sh is also affected. I don't have it in red here, but consider it red. Okay, and then мой. Here we have the ending that will disappear and be replaced, and that ending, и краткое, is a soft ending. И краткое is soft. Remember when we looked at the nouns, и краткое is our part of our soft paradigm. So let's take a look first at muy and what happens, and then we'll take a look at nash. And remember, muy is the same as tvой and svой, and nash will be the same as vash. So here is our muy, and it's true soft because the kratska is soft. So we stay in the soft paradigm. We put this away, and we go soft. Моего, моему, моим. And here should be ем, but see if it's different from the adjective ending, I put it in a separate thing. О моем, it will be твоем, своем. So this ending ё will apply to моем, твоем, своем. So for neutral, we have моё, and again, same set of soft endings. For plural, we have моя. So this и краткое disappears and is replaced by ya. And then ya we take away and also change it. Soft stays soft. Моей. So here it should be you, but can you see? I have it right here. Мою, твою, свою. So мою, твою, свою. And here again, о моей or с моей. Then for plural, we have мои, still soft. Моих, моим, моими, моих. Same for твой and свой. So твоих, своим, твоими, своими, твоих, своих. Okay, and finally the word наш. As I said, it's like хороший. So even though it looks hard, most of the endings, except for feminine, will be in the soft paradigm. So наш hard should be over, but it is affected by the 5-letter rule, so it switches here. Нашего, нашему, нашим, affected by the 7, нашем. And it's the same as ваш. So вашего, вашему, вашим, вашим. For neutral, it's наше, and all of these will be soft, as we can see, even though it's like not true soft. So for feminine, this is where we can see that it's the hard paradigm. So наша, but again, look what happens. Нашей, because it's affected. And then here should be ую, but it's shorter. Нашу, нашу, вашу. And again, here goes to нашей. So real hardness, the hardness really comes up only in наша and нашу. And everything else here is going to be kind of going with the soft endings. Нашей, наших, нашим, нашими, наших, because it's affected by the 7-letter rule. Okay, that's pretty much it. And as I said, here you can see the words these, that, those, and whole or all, that kind of you can look up right here. So once you figure out how to work with this chart, I think it will be helpful. Okay, so now that we're done with working with both charts, here's your task for the next time. So first part of the task is always to work with the content that we worked with today. So decide on an adjective. Remember, it has to go with a specific noun. Yeah, that's what this is the way for you to figure out if it's masculine and neutral or feminine or plural, and just work through it by putting it into different cases. And then you can put it in the comments and I'll check your answer. Okay, and the second part of the task is to prepare you for my next video. So remember these sentences that we worked with, and we just looked at whether or not the words in bold are going to be the same case or different when we translate these sentences into Russian. And I said at some point we will translate these sentences into Russian. Well, that moment has come. In my next video, well, it's going to be in my next 4 videos, I'm going to be working with 4 lines per video, and we're going to be translating this into Russian. So your next task is to look at the first 4 lines and translate these into Russian by using this chart to figure out the cases for all nouns and pronouns and adjectives that you see, and these charts to figure out what endings the words should get. Now, you probably don't know that much about the verbs yet, or maybe you do. This is something that you can just like look up for now. There will be different playlists for the verbs. And yeah, so I'll see you in my next video when we start translating these sentences. Keep learning Russian. Пока-пока.